pushed her around the table and smacked her ass.
Hey, Uppity Unicorn here. I wanted to chime in about this whole Alexis energy, and I didn't catch her last name. I'm not sure if her last name is Fletcher or Scott or Steele Beasley. I don't know what it is. Maybe she just had a take me back ceremony and her last name is Rogers. Listen, I don't know. Um, but I watched that scene a couple of times, and hey, it's Uppity Unicorn, and I'm so happy to have you here. Please like the video and stick around. It's just a little chat we can have while you're washing your dishes, doing your laundry, driving in your car. Okay, we're talking family dynamics of the father's kid. Now, you'll notice right away, Nell came into a relationship with Chris with a son. Chris came into the relationship with a daughter. Did anybody notice how much more well adjusted to the family Lance is than Alexis? Lance is the high yellow son at the end that does not belong to Chris. He's got a different father. Did anybody notice that he is more well adjusted to the family than is Alexis? He has a closer relationship with his siblings than does Alexis. And that's because they share a mom. I don't know why this is something new, but Family 101, the children orbit around the mother like planets. I mean, like moons around a planet. Just like Jupiter's got its suns, I mean its moons, just like Earth has a moon, like we orbit around the mother. We get our culture from the mother. Right away, I'm looking at Alexis and I'm just like, you got a different mom. It's not that anybody treated you differently, is that there's a degree of separation here. You're sort of like it's weird because it's like it's sort of like having a cousin when you've got a sibling with a different mom. It's not that way when you have a sibling with a different dad, and I don't know why. Um, my only explanation from that is that womb relations are a little tighter. You grow up in the same house, you grow up and you were developed in the body of the same woman, and you've all come out to call the same woman mom, and you have revolved around the same woman. Lexi, you revolved around a different woman. No matter what Nell says or does to you or for you, she's never going to be biological mom. She's never going to be the mom that raised you. You have your own mom. You come from a different family. Now y'all share a dad, and from Alexis I got this you took my dad energy. You took my dad, you took my life. My dad was on a good trajectory. He got his money, and then here y'all come and y'all got all these nice cars. And Lexi is always talking about a car, right? That's what they said. Every time she comes around, she goes back to these cars because they were driving BMWs and whatever, Chris and uh Nell's kids while she was driving some kind of a hoopty until Nell dropped $22,000 on her. Now, I don't know if it was editing or what, but when Nell said she dropped that $22,000 on her, Alexis never denied it. She drove that hoopty. Nell dropped $22,000 on her. She gets in a car accident and gets a brand new car. So Nell was like, you drove that hoopty until I gave you $22,000, and then you got a car on everybody else's level. So why are you tripping? I looked out for you. I'm sorry, but that's a huge deal. That's a huge, I'm your stepmother, but I'm stepping up. I'm your stepmother, but I'm stepping in and I'm stepping up, and I'm going to give you what my kids have. For you to still be cussing Nell out at her own table, it's too much. Because here's what was lost in the conversation. While Alexis was complaining about those guys having nice first cars, Nell had already said, Chris didn't want me to get y'all them cars. So that was Nell's money. So if it was according to their father, Chris Fletcher, understand, Alexis, your siblings would have been driving the same car as you. They would have been working all summer to get the same hoopty as you, right? She called it a hoopty. That's what they would have done. But Nell got in the way and got her kids nice cars. And Chris was against it. Papa Chris Fletcher was against it. He wasn't for it. Nell has a daycare. It's something she did on her own. Now, your dad didn't do it and your mom didn't do it. So you got one mother deciding something is good enough for her kid, and one mother deciding something the same thing is not good enough for her kids. So you have Nell making a decision for the kids that she gave birth to. They're gonna have nice first cars because I had a, maybe Nell had a hoopty when she was younger and didn't like that she had to fix it all the time, and that it costs more money to maintain it than it costs to buy it. Transmission failure and brakes and all kinds of things. So she's like, no, I'm not doing my kids like that. And so then Nell looks across the pond at Alexis and says, well, she does have a different car than all her siblings. Let me give her $22,000. And you sat your ass at that table and acted like that $22,000 didn't contribute to you getting a bomb ass car. You sat at that table. It acted like, oh, well, hello. Does nobody remember I got in a car accident? Then I got myself a car. I got my car. Like, really? So what did you do with Nail's $22,000? Don't bullshit the family like you didn't use that money to help yourself get a nicer car, because that's what she gave it to you for. You got in a car accident. She helped you get a new car. She lobbed $22,000 on you. That's a heap amount of money to lob on somebody at once. That as a lump sum is a huge act of love. It's a huge act of let's close this gap between us. And the whole time she sat at the table denying, 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 denying. And I'm just like, that would make me mad too. And with the way Lexi talks, and I'm not surprised that she brought, a ginger spouse to and shout out to gingers. Black people love you. It ain't nothing but the N word misspelled. We love you, all right. But it doesn't surprise me that she's the only one at the table with a palm colored partner. She has this air about her where she thinks it comes off. And I'm not saying she thinks this, because she could think the opposite, but she has this air about her where it's like she thinks she's better than the rest of the family. And maybe it's because she's Chris's firstborn. And she's like, well, I'm the oldest and I need to be treated like the oldest. And it's like, you're the oldest in your household. You might be the only child over there too, but that's where you're the oldest at. Over here, that's Lance. Over here, that's Lance. He's big brother to everybody here because everybody else here, their mom is Nail. Your mom is not Nail. I don't know why. Because here's what happens, and I'll use my own life as an example. My dad has I don't know, like three other kids or something with three other women who are not my mom, right? My dad married my mom. Short amount of time, but hear ye, this is the family that I'm validating. So it's like the other brothers and sisters kind of looked to our family to bond to, but they didn't necessarily look to each other for that. So there are people who would look at me and my sisters like, oh, well, they don't care about their little sister or their half sister or whatever. And they think they're better than her because, she was born from an affair and blah, blah, blah. And so many things were said that I'm just like, I think my little sister's dope. I think she's the shit. I don't know what you people are talking about. But as far as relationships go, I'm just like, does anybody understand what I'm saying when I say it's almost like having a cousin more than it is like having a sibling? Like if you're raised together in the same households and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, it's like, dad's kids, whatever. Uh, but there's something about belonging to the same mom, especially within the African American community. That within the African American community, you could be 8 kids with 7 different dads, but as long as y'all got the same mom, y'all have a relationship like siblings. Whereas if all y'all have a different dad, it's like, or if all y'all have the same dad and different moms, you kind of like Nick Cannon's kids. Like, you think they all act like siblings? Do you think so? They're like, oh, this is my brother, this is my whatever, this is my whatever, whatever. But their actual relationship is probably something like having a first cousin, like somebody you probably don't call all the time, somebody you probably don't see all the time. But when you do see them, there's love, there's happiness, and there is familial exchange based on blood. I don't know why there's that expectation, because I know that, like, for example, my half siblings, they have a relationship with their siblings that they share a mom with that is just like what I have with my siblings that I share a mom with. And somehow the distance is, us rejecting them. And I'm like, it's not that. It's just there is a natural difference here. There's a natural barrier here. And I know one of my mom is a saint. When my dad had an affair on my mom, she knew what kind of man my dad was. May he rest in peace. And my mom volunteered to babysit my sister. That came from that. I have a brother who his mom was pregnant at the same time as my mom, and people think we're twins. We're not. Papa was a Rolling Stone, and then I have another little sister, and I have a brother that my mom had with my mom. Okay, confusing family, right? But it's like we all go home and live with our moms. That's kind of like how all your cousins get together on the holidays, but they all go home with Auntie so and so and Auntie so and so. So when she says she was treated differently, when I'm looking at Alexis and she says she's treated differently, it's not she was, but it's not like she was treated worse. It's that she was treated as someone at a distance because she was and she is. And she talks to Nell like she's somebody at a difference. Everybody at that table was ready to cuss her out. Everybody was like, "Baby bitch, bitch, blah 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 blah." Should have jumped across the table because you're telling somebody's mama to kiss your ass. And then you're mad that you don't have a relationship with somebody. I wish you would. If you said that to Monique one time, if you said that to my mother one time, for the rest of forever, I got a problem. And for them to have forgiven Lexi after cussing Nell out more than once, and her saying you're an asshole and kiss my ass and all this other stuff, like she don't got two black parents. And I'm like, you gonna let these cameras and this redhead fool you? Like we don't talk to our quote unquote parents like that. And you're the one who put quotes over daughter because that's how you feel. But I'm just like, you can't come to a woman and disrespect her. And I feel like I see it. I feel like it's like, yeah, whatever. I'm Chris's firstborn. Put some respect on my name. I was here before all you MFers. Put some respect on my name. This is my dad. This is his money. But I'm just like, Nell makes money too. And Nell has a daycare with a gaggle of kids in them. Nell makes good money. Good money. She said very comfortably, we have more money than anybody on the show. We got more money than any of the cast members. She already said that in her Carlos King interview. You think that's just Chris and his real estate? It's not. It's not. She has a what, 15, 20-year-old daycare? It's not just Chris. Chris said hell no to those luxury vehicles. Nell was like, you're not going to tell me when I'm going to get my babies. As a matter of fact, I see your baby is discontented and feels left out, and now I'm going to get her one too. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to get her one. I'm going to throw $22,000 at her and tell her she can go get whichever one she like because she's their sibling. And that's what you can't take away. I've had people from different sides of, my father's kids, maternal sides, mad at me and my mother's household for some reason. I had people treat me a certain kind of way. And I'm just like, here's the deal. I have a way about me where I don't do a whole lot of reaching out. I don't do a whole lot of talking to anybody except for my mom. My mom is probably the only person I speak to consistently. Even if I'm seeing a man, if I'm dating a man, I can easily fall off for a few days or a week just because I need time and space. So I tend to do that. But I'm just like, I know one of my siblings got in a car accident, one of my half siblings, one of my dad's kids, and the sibling needed a car. And so I just kind of popped out. Congratulations, you got a new beautiful baby. I see you need a car. Here you go. And it was like, oh, look who finally started to care. And it just like finally started to care. I always have. It just looks a little different because we do have natural distance between us. It's not disrespect and it's not a lack of love. It's just a natural distance. Families orbit around the mother. They orbit around the mother. She's literally the heart of the house. You have a different one. I don't know why that's grounds for you treat me like a redheaded stepchild. Now, it's one thing if we all grew up in the same house, right? Because here's the deal. Even with different dads, you get that treatment like, oh, you don't look like nobody in the family. We adopted you. Whoop, de whoop, whoop, whoop. You know, you get hazed by your siblings. But I mean, I was hazed by one of my sisters who, I mean, hell, I look more like my mom than she does. It's just her and my mom are both dark skinned, but I'm just like, Heifer, you can't. I mean, I just had genetics. I'm in high school now. You can't tell me these things. I done did all the gametes and all the Punnett squares. Like that's my mama. You worry about you and how you don't look like nobody. I look like my mama in a different color. That's all that is. But I'm just saying, like, there are things that siblings say to one another, and it's hurtful, and it's hazing, and it's testing, and I'm just like, we're all kind of giving it to each other in a way. But if you take it differently because, well, I have a different mom, and I would say that some of those things haven't been said to my other siblings with different moms because, we kind of feel those eggshells, and we're just like, I want you to know that this is love. So, you know my sister actually have a sister named Alexis, and like my sister Alexis is not going to dog you out and say the things to you that she knew she could say to me because we have the same mom. If she says those things to you that she said to me, like you were adopted and you're not even our real sibling, and we found you in a trash can, you're gonna feel away because you have a different mom, and you're gonna feel away and you're gonna think that we're disrespecting your mom. So you will never have access to those jokes because we're trying to take care of you and because we're trying to make sure that you feel welcome. You come over here anytime and get your hair braided. Come over here anytime and get some love and hugs. Call us when you need a babysitter, like whatever. But as far as me personally, I have I have the kind of personality, and it's crazy because I think my siblings have this personality. We're all like this. My all my dad's kids, at least, we're to ourselves. Me and my little brother, I have a brother, we got the same mom, same dad, and we like might not talk to each other for a month, and then we'll send each other a gaggle of TikToks and then not talk again for another couple of months, and then run into each other at mom's house and fall out all over each other and talk and laugh, and then not talk again just because. And there's not a fight, there's never a fight. It's just we're introverts. We just don't do all that. And so when we treat you that way, it's just like, oh, they're shunning us. And I'm like, this is the same treatment. It just feels different to you because you know that there's that degree of separation. And that's the thing that makes you different from us. Not better or worse, but different. Families revolve around the mom, and Alexis clearly doesn't have that relationship with Nell. And I can see that Nell has tried to foster that relationship. So I'm going to go easy on Nell. I am. I'm going to go easy on Nell. I am, because I can see she tried to foster that relationship. And I can see that even with her, shut the hell up, Lexi, like even with that, she feels comfortable enough to be that mother figure who shuts you the hell down because she knows that she's been sincere over all these years. Nell Fletcher has been in her life since she was 16 months, since she was almost 2 years old. So she's tried, but at the same time, and here's the deal, when you got a different mom, moms put their foot down. Moms be like, when my baby is over at that house, she ain't gonna discipline my daughter. She ain't gonna talk to my daughter how she talked to her. She ain't gonna put her hands. She ain't gonna this. She ain't gonna that. That's my baby. She has a mom. You're just a stepmom. I remember I got read like that one time. Like, I was damn near, a step parent. It's like she has a mother and a nana who loves her. You are a stepmother, right? Obviously, the woman going off on me, the grandmother, was a fucking white Southerner, so hence the accent. But I'm just like, everybody wanted to make sure that I knew that I was a place removed, and I'm just like, you can say that to me, and I can feel you. I hear you on that, but I spend 18 hours a day with this child. I homeschool her. I raise her. I cook for her. I clean her body. I teach her how to wash her ass like she's 5. I've taught her how to read in 2 fucking languages. When I met this child, she couldn't spell cat, and she could spell cat and dog, but couldn't spell mop. Same 3 letters, same similar thing. So I'm like, all right. By the time I left, she could sound out congratulations by herself. So first of all, fuck you. I put my time and energy into this kid. And yeah, she's a different kid around me because she's got a lot of a one-on-one attention. Her dad brought me into the household and was just like, I just want you to stay in the house and make my little monster a lady. Civilize my baby. She's so beautiful. I mean, little blonde hair, blue eyed, chubby little thing. Just wonderful to be around. And I was like, all right, bet. But they had a problem with me being black. They had a problem with me being Muslim. They had a problem with. And I ran my little northern Negro ass back north. But the point was, they had no problem letting me know that I was a relative removed. Even though her whole life she was orbiting around me because that's where her dad put her. And she didn't have, some super involved mom. Her mom was a stripper turned bartender turned. I mean, her mom was such a beautiful girl. She's just like, F this shit, I'm hot. I'm not slowing down now. I'm about to get this money. Involved with drugs and all kinds of things and selling pharmaceuticals and things that they shouldn't be doing. And it was dangerous and it was filthy and it was dirty. And I just kind of stepped in and I was just like, all right. But I mean, being a relative removed, being a culture removed, I was just like, man. So I say all that about my own experience to say I get where I feel like I can understand where Alexis is coming from as far as being treated differently because you're a relative removed, right? You guys don't share a mom. But even still, like I have siblings I don't share a mom with. I don't put that on their family. I don't do the you need to treat me like you treat Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, like I'm, their kids. You need to treat me exactly like you treat this person because we're siblings. I don't put that on them because some part of that, like it's very nice and it's very well mannered, but some part of that is less natural or unnatural in comparison to you carry this person in your womb water for 9 months. You're not going to feel for me the way that you feel for somebody who put stretch marks on your belly, who you almost died so they could live. Some of us, we dang near passed away in labor. There's an emotional and a spiritual and a physical investment in your biological child. That's why some people can't adopt. That's why some people are like, no, I want my own kid. And people like me or whoever, we might sit back and say, hey, there are plenty of kids who need moms and dads. The world is overpopulated. You're being selfish. You need a kid, they need a parent, just go get one. They're like, no, I can't. And that's valid. I'm sorry, that's valid. They're like, I need flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. Now, my mom is such a saint. I told you she was watching, one of my siblings who was born of an affair. Actually, let's say two, because two of them were, right? And the only one wasn't was, much older than me. As far as my dad's kids go, I'm not talking about my other siblings. And I'm just like, my mom treated everybody the same. And maybe that's why we got such a high standard put on us. But when it came to our cousins, when it came to kids around the neighborhood, when it came to foster kids who, even though my mom was never a foster parent, they would run away from their foster parents' house and spend weeks at a time in our house. Everybody got treated the same. I couldn't oppress somebody under my mom's watch. I couldn't, well, this is my house. And what I say, like, we had to be fair. We had to be Kojic. We had to be Christian. We had to be God conscious. Girl, God is watching you. You can't treat people like that. Hell is real, you know? So my mom was an egalitarian ass, altruistic ass human being where everybody got a fair shake. Everybody also got fair talking tos. My mom might yell at you until your wig blows back. I would say cussing out, but my mom didn't cuss. My mom was, she was Kojic. We didn't grow up with that kind of language. But I mean, if you needed a talking to and you wasn't her kid, you were gonna get it like you were her kid. And people could see and hear and feel the love in that, and they didn't go, oh, F Monique and blah 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 blah. They would cry and say sorry and give my mom hugs, and that real southern matriarch love is what, and that fairness is in that, just even keel with everybody. That blind justice balance she has always carried in her character and in her heart. And don't think you wasn't gonna get yelled at for, sleeping with these three boys and not get sent home with a plate, because you was gonna get fed, you was gonna get fattened in my house, because Monique wouldn't have it any other way. If we had some nice clothes that we got too big for that and they still had tags on them, you were gonna get them. They weren't going back to the dang on JC Penney, to the daggone Nordstrom. They were going to you. My mom didn't play about anybody who came through her house. We actually have cousins who we refer to as cousin brothers, because whatever was going on with their moms, they would come to live with us for entire school years. Entire school years. They might go back to Louisiana for the summer, and then it's like, 9 months out of the year, you're here. You're here. So many people in our family got their start in my mom's house. And so what I'm trying to say about this is I see Lernell as not the same, but I feel like she tried to foster that to some degree, not to the degree that my mother did. And this is no shame on Lernell, but I see that she made an effort, and that effort was rejected because it wasn't good enough. Alexis is saying it wasn't good enough. I get treated differently than everybody here. And you are different than everybody there, because even the girl who was Chris's, what is it? Chris's uncle dad, even she treats Lernell, and she has an attitude problem too. And that's the thing. So Alexis, it's not just your attitude, because that Kiki girl, Kiki got plenty of attitude. Yeah, I got another job. I just ain't say nothing to you yet because I want to hear your mouth. Like who talks to their Southern elders like that? I don't know. But when she started talking crazy to Nail, all the kids at the table wanted a piece of her. And I'm just like, nobody's going to want to talk to you for a long time. And they keep trying to make up with you. And I'm sorry, but you can't make up with me after, like if you talk to my mom like that in front of me, you can't make up with me. You can't. I think it's grace that they are allowing, because, ooh, ooh, even if my mom says, chocolate, it's time, go say hi. You're going to speak to everybody at this event. I'm telling you, my tongue will be the furthest thing away from me. Like, I spoke, but bitch, look at me, cousin. I spoke, but girl, don't you reach over here to hug me. Don't you reach over here to pat me on my back. Just hi. Monique told me to say hi. Hi. You come over here after you told my mom some BS like kiss my ass, the way Alexa said to Nail. Y'all are assholes. I got an asshole for you. And at least Nail's kid sat at the table, was like, whatever, bitch. Like, I want to hop over this table. You talk crazy to my mom, not just in front of me, but also in front of cameras, which are going to be in front of a whole bunch of people. Yeah, we want to fight. Yeah, that set us back. The fuck? It's not supposed to? The mother is the jewel of the family. You can say that that's the youngest, and I'll feel you on that. But the mother is really the opulent thing in a family, or at least she's supposed to be. She's the thing everybody is going to ooh and ah. She's the thing that everybody's going to come back to. She's the pinnacle. She's the top of the triangle. She's her. She's her. And you don't have that feeling for Llanero the way even the girl who is damn near adopted does. She has that kind of respect for Linnell, and she's got an attitude problem. So we can't just say it's because, oh, well, Alexis has an attitude problem. Like, it's your overall perspective. It's your overall self-carriage. It's your overall refusal. Because at the end of the day, you want something, you want to be equal to your siblings, and the person doing the things that you are comparing yourself to is Nell. It's not Chris. Nell is the one shelling out money. Nell is the one lobbing luxury on these kids. Chris is like, they don't need that. They don't deserve that. Linnell said in that scene, she's like, Chris didn't want me to do it. Chris Fletcher, yo daddy Alexis, he didn't want me to do it. He would have rather my kids be riding around in a hoopty like his kid, like you. Because if it was good enough for you, it was good enough for everybody else. That's how Chris felt about it. If your hoopty was good enough for you, it was good enough for Nell's kids too. But Nell is the one who intervened and said, not my kids. Not while we're living like this. Not while we the most wealthy people on the damn cast. Like Linnell sitting over there. Linnell is sitting on ass and assets. For why wouldn't I get my kid a BMW or a Mercedes? And matter of fact, let me throw $22,000 at you because I see you feel a way about it, and you're our kid. But you got your own mama. You do, and that relationship is intact. And I get that because I just got done talking about my mama. Nobody takes my mom's place. But everybody at that table, except for you, associates Linnell as mother. Even the other girl at the table, Kiki, who Linnell didn't give birth to. That's mother. And that's your real disconnect. And when you don't treat her with the reverence that everybody is treating her with as mother, yeah, there's fucking distance. I mean, you say the wrong thing to my mom and I might put my hands on you. You don't have to hit my mom. You don't have to be in my mom's face. You could be across the room. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. You better hope I took all my meds because you say the wrong thing to my mom across the table. I'm coming across the table. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm finna do a bit. I have in-laws, women who have married into my family, who don't even like to look me in the eye because I have look. I'm a mellow person, but I have a distant history of unpredictable fucking ability. And when I tell you I will get hurt over Monique, when I tell you I will walk into my doom over Monique, I just go stupid. I just check the hell out. And there's plenty of people who check the hell out over their mom. And so you want to sit here, I'm Chris's oldest ass at the table talking about you asshole and kiss my ass and whatever else. And you're mad that you don't have a relationship with the family. If this is any indication of what you regularly do, that's why you don't have it. Because on one hand, I get it, Alexis. You want to be you. You want to be yourself. You're like, well, if this is my family and I'm supposed to be loved, then I'm going to react how I'm going to react. You probably act like that in your mother's household too. Your husband, he looked like he was all the way used to you acting like that. He knew exactly how to act. He's like, look, this is her family. I'm not going to get in their way and I'm not going to get in her way. I'm married to my wife. I'm going to be in this family for a long time. I mean, he ain't even washed his hair or put on no nice clothes. He just sat at the table and ate. We ain't barely see him speak to nobody because whatever stories that you have told him, he has an opinion of everybody there. But you're talking about, oh, I don't have a relationship with you or you and you. Well, when you talk to my mom crazy and you block me, I might not be ready. You talk to my mom crazy in front of me in my teens, I'm gonna feel about a way about you in my 20s and 30s. That's just how it's gonna be. My mom asked me to one of my mom's ex-fiance, wanted to do something with me, money making wise, online, whatever. And I was just like, I can't. And she's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, he broke your heart, mom. I don't want to look at him. I don't want to talk to him. And she's like, he loved you. He loved us. And I'm just like, I get it, but I'll never forget. Like my mom was the strongest person in the world, and I'm just like, I can never forget the way he made you feel because I grew up thinking you didn't have a kink in your armor, and he made you cry. I mean, all over a bathroom floor. Like no, I can't. Please respect that I can't, because if you keep asking me to collaborate with this guy, I mean, at some point I will, but I don't want to, mama. And she was like, no, I understand. She knows who I am. She knows who her baby is. So even watching this scene and you're like, you're an ass and kiss my ass and my ass and my ass and my ass, that's how you're talking talking to the matriarch of the house. You don't really get mercy after that. So then you get to walk off and be like, oh, nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. It's because I have a different mom. They treat me like a redheaded stepchild. No pun intended. But I'm just like, you can't do the matriarch that way. Yes, she can scream, shut the hell up, Lexi, and you can't scream, shut the hell up back. That's what the matriarch gets to do. Now you can still get up and walk away, but you better be biting on your tongue until it bleeds. You better keep that tongue in between your damn teeth like it's in jail, like it's doing however it takes for you to get from the table into your car and pulling off the property, because you can't do that. So you want to be a loose cannon and you want to talk crazy. You're sitting at a table full of people. That's their mama. That's their mom. And you want to talk crazy and you want to call her a liar. I grew up in a household we couldn't say lie. I mean, God forgive my family and some of these things, but we get beat for that. We get smacked for that. You had to be fibbing or telling a story, especially if you were talking to an adult. So I'm looking at this like, what in the Southern F is going on right now? I was born and raised in Seattle. Now my family, they're from Louisiana and California and these Caribbean islands or whatever. But I'm just like, wait a minute. And no, I'm not Caribbean. I'm African American. My family were army brides. But I'm just like, there are rules of engagement here when you're talking child and adult, or when you're talking adult child and parent, because we do get grown, but we still, that dynamic is still there. You're still a fucking subordinate, my guy. You're still an inferior. That is your superior. That is your commanding officer. I don't know. Maybe it's because we got a military background in my family, but we don't play those games with rank. And if you do betray rank in my family, good luck. Good luck. Because I'm telling you, people, you feel it, man. I want to wrap this up. So here's what I'm going to say. I very much believe Alexis has a story to tell, and I believe her and say that she's being treated differently. But I also believe that she's treating them differently. You want to sit there. It's like she wants to have her cake and eat it too. It's like, oh, me and my mom over here, and we whoop de whoop whoop whoop, and then I come over here and I throw my weight around because I'm Chris's firstborn, and he's the one with the money and the whoop whoop whoop. Apparently, both of them got the money. Apparently, both of them are Big Bank Hank, and Nell is the one shelling out money to you guys. Chris is not. That was made clear. Linnell set herself in front of Chris. The Fletcher sat there and was just like, no, when Chris gives them money, they pay it back. When I give them money, they're like, F that ish. It's a mom. We don't have to pay her back. It's not like she's going to do anything to us. She's in love with us. And they won't put no respect on it because they know there's unconditional love on it. Whereas Chris is going to hurt your feelings and tell you to get the F on and get the F home and go the F home and cuss you out. Chris will go there. And I love Chris's temperament. He's real relaxed and reserved until it's time not to be, and then it's get the F on. And I can respect that in a man. But I'm just like, Nail is just, she's gonna be loud, but she's gonna be emotional. It's just like the grandma who you ask her for money and she tells you to go get her little pocketbook, and she's cussing you out the whole time, but you're gonna leave with that money, right? Very familiar dynamic to African American families. I don't want to invalidate Alexis completely, but I feel like some of her expectations are unfair. I feel like some of her expectations, like it would be nice, to be a half sibling or a stepchild or whatever, and everybody's just a damn Brady Bunch, and we all get along and we all treat each other like co-equals, whatever. I think that's ideal. But most things in life are not ideal. So I think that's something for people to shoot for people to strive for. But here's the deal. I think Nell has. I think Nell has made the effort. And I think there was more. The reason that conversation got like that about the cars because they said Alexis is always bringing up the cars, like she's traumatized about the cars because she won't forget when she had a hoopty and everybody else was driving something nice. And I'm just like, well, clearly Nell validated you when your father wouldn't because Nell went and dropped $22,000 of her own money upon you. You're welcome. You ingrate. I mean, because that's what Alexis is demonstrating. She's demonstrating ingratitude. So I'm like, you feel different, but you were the one who put quotes around daughter. That's the real difference. That's the real difference. Even that Kiki girl, the one who was so called adopted because her mom had a hand in raising Nell, and Nell in turn paid it forward. She didn't even put daughter in quotes. And she had more attitude than a little bit. And then come to find out you didn't invite her to the wedding. So you invited everybody to the wedding at the last minute, but you didn't invite her. She tried to call you. You didn't want her to like whatever. Like maybe you feel a way about Kiki. Maybe you feel a way about her being integrated into a family that you feel entitled to. But I mean, that whole scene was it was wild. And it's wild when people do think it's like did you watch the scene and do you know how you look? I wanted to be very clear that in your family dynamic, y'all may act like Nell is the bad guy. And as far as y'all are concerned, that might be the case. But us from on the outside looking in, Alexis, you're the Grinch. You're the Grinch who stole family dinner. That's what it looks like. We can Nell is see-through. That is one transparent woman. That is one authentic woman. You can't come on a show and convince me she didn't try with you. What you can convince me of is that it's very clear that there is not a mother daughter relationship there. There is a you are my husband's child and you are my father's wife relationship there. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's not a relationship. It's there's not a step parent relationship there. Even though I feel like Neil tried to foster that. There's oh my dad's wife. Oh my that's my half sibling's mom. That's the relationship. I mean, the quotes you put around daughter, everybody could have went home after that. That's the issue. That's why you're saying you're being treated differently, and everybody feels it. Everybody feels it. You don't get to talk to people's mom any kind of way and expect to be treated like it's okay. My own siblings, my own siblings would whoop me behind my mom. My siblings who come from my mom would whoop me behind my mom. Would get in a fight with me behind my mom. If my eldest sister thought I was doing something to physically aggress against my mom, I'm telling you that my biggest sister would fight me like I'm a stranger on the street. If she thought that I was trying to bring physical harm to my mother. Mothers are sacred, Alexis. You just don't get to do the mom that way. Not with Negroes, you don't. So if you can scream in the house that my mama's paying for, you asshole, and kiss my ass, and you're talking to my mom, I don't know when's the next time I'm gonna talk to you, especially if my mom already told me not to put them paws on you. Especially if my mom is protecting you, all I can give you is my silence for my benefit and yours. All I can do is cut you off. So, oh, I don't have a relationship with this family and I haven't seen you since November. It's kind of apparent why. It's like, oh, well, everybody, you're saying you apologize, but now you're sitting here saying there was nothing to apologize for. And it's just like, well, wait a minute. They made amends. They made amends. They apologized. They all reached out to you. But I can see how a bunch of siblings would gang up on you behind their mom. I can see that. And even at the table, Chris and Nell's son was trying to talk to you like, let it go, let it go. Like he was trying to coach you. He was trying to help you feel better about some stuff. And what did you do in return? You cussed out his mom. He's trying to help you massage your feelings and massage your uncomfortable situation, and you cussed out his mom. And you think it should just be between you and her, but it's between you and all her kids and her husband too. Because now he's between a rock and a hard place, and clearly he picked a side. And I know a lot of people, here's the deal. We as kids, we're just like, you don't pick nobody over your kids. We as females, we as women, we're just like, you don't pick anybody over your kids. What do you mean? That's your wife. I'm your daughter. But I tell you what, men are not that way. Men are not that way. When a man loves his wife, he picks her over the kids, over the siblings, over the cousins, damn near over the parents. Like he doesn't, especially if she's in the right. If she's in the right, then you're in trouble. And Nell was in the right in her own house. And Nell was very much within her right to say, don't you disrespect me at my own damn table. This meal I done prepared for y'all. This sweating I done did for y'all. I done so much I done had to serve you guys your drinks in red Solo cups because I ain't trying to wash all these damn dishes. And after I have protected and provided for you throughout your life, maybe not the whole time, because she made a statement about Chris only entering her life when she turned 28. He called it BS. That triggered him and he sent her on her way. So I don't know what to believe about that. I don't want to invalidate her. But at the same time, I'm just like, I see a family that has clearly made an effort with her. And that's the thing about blended families. Sometimes they don't blend well. It's a risk you take. And I mean, if you wanted them to just shut up and throw money at the problem, $22,000 don't sound bad at all. So anyhow, hang on, just really quickly with me. I want you to let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm a little congested here. Okay, I just had some peach ginger turmeric tea, and that made me feel a little bit better. I want to thank you so much for watching, but I also want you to comment about this because I feel like this is a subject that African Americans can benefit from discussing, because we don't talk a whole lot about this blended family dynamic and how it does or does not work out, and who feels left out and who doesn't feel left out, and how people feel. I know I have felt a way about, for whatever reason, people, other families of my father's have centralized my family with my mom and her kids. They have kind of centralized our family, and we didn't ask for that. And my dad was particularly abusive to my mom. My dad was jealous of my mom. My mom could protect and provide all on her own. And it's that black womanhood, that build a bear thing. It's that the reason I have all these level up and sprinkle concepts is because I've seen it work in the wrong way. I've seen the humble, righteous Christian woman, hardworking, build a man, build a family, build a home, build a culture, and get beaten for it, and get cheated on for it. And I'm gonna martell you left and right to humble you, because you're superwoman, and I need you to know that you can't do anything without me. And I'm gonna beat your oldest daughter to a pulp, because that's the one you lean on when you can't do anything, and when you can't watch the kids, and when you're sick and you're tired and she's babysitting and cooking and cleaning. I'm gonna beat the hell out of her until she's got to run away and live with her grandmother because she's afraid of me. But for whatever reason, my family must have been, and as much as my dad gave my mom hell, my family was somehow his bragging right, like the nigga, we made it, look at us, family. And so there's a way that we've been centralized that we never asked for. So it's just like, no one's taxing, the other half sibling's mom about, Well, do you invite us for holidays and do you invite us for family trips? Like it just the questions are only being asked of my mom, or were only being asked of my mom. So I'm just saying I kind of understand from both sides, and sometimes it's not fair. Sometimes people just socially select the family that they feel like has to unite everybody. And I'm just like, that could be anybody's mom. Hell, you invite us somewhere. You invite us to a family gathering. You invite us to a family reunion. You invite us to a cookout. Why does the burden need to continually fall on us? Imagine if this family expected that from Alexis's mom. Imagine if they were like, well, your mom don't invite us nowhere. Well, your mom don't, your mom don't, your mom don't. She would feel like, why would you even expect that from my mom? And I'm just like, well, it can go both ways, can it? Especially, in a case like mine where, because in the case of Alexis, Nail's family got the father, but in my case, my siblings, my half siblings are younger than me, so my dad moved on, and so I'm just like, there's no need to centralize our family anymore. So I mean, if you want to hang out and eat together and love together, like that's great, and that's welcomed, and that's amazing. But I mean, as far as like whose duty it is, like that's not something that is centralized. That's something, that's a mantle anybody can take up. So anyhow, grab you a timestamp and talk to me about this in the comment section below, because this is really kind of it's really very interesting. The Fletchers could absolutely have their own show, and I don't fear for the Scots, but this makes me look at the Scots like, what are you even good for anymore? Because for a couple of seasons, Kimmy, Grant, Scott, we've been talking about what does or doesn't slide in between your legs, from Yoni eggs to Maurice. And we know that that's a cover up. We know y'all don't let us go to work with you, Kimmy. Y'all don't let us go to work with Maurice. Y'all don't let us, like we don't know anything about your lives. We don't know anything about you as people unless we Google it, unless we start looking into records. Letitia and Marcel, all we know about them is Black and Scout. That's it. They keep us on the surface level. You got Letitia running out of scenes. I'm not talking about it. It's Ovi. And I'm like, well, here are the Fletchers talking about it all. Here's Nell. I mean, not just talking about it all on a show, but over here being candid in a damn interview with Carlos, to the point where she's damn near in tears, talking about how she couldn't get out of bed, and you'd have thought Chris was deceased when he was cheating on her, because she was just broke her soul, broke the family. She looked like she was finna pass out during that interview. This is why I can't allow Alexis to play Nell. I can't allow her to do it, because I'm just like, I see through this woman. This woman is clear. This woman is transparent. I know she tried. I know she tried. Nell is old school. I know she tried. I feel it. So anyhow, I'm ready to see the Fletchers in the opening sequence where, all day, all night, whatever their little love and marriage Huntsville theme music is. I'm ready to see her there, the Fletchers there, and I need them to remove one of the Scots, preferably Maurice and Kimmy. Maurice and Kimmy bring the absolute least to the show. Letitia at least has, she doesn't realize it, but she has a redemption character arc waiting for her. If she were to allow Mel and Nell to really speak to her heart, she has a redemption arch waiting for her. And that's something people would like to see. People would like to see Letitia grow and become strong, and to break the patterns that make her so fearful in her own house and such a hater outside of her house. That's something that is to be determined. If Letitia turns the page and chooses strength and chooses herself. But with Kimmy, nothing to offer. There's no character arch with her. There's no, you beat cancer. Okay? That was your thing. That was your story. That was your contribution. That is how you made the community a better place. You got the sisters checking themselves out. But I mean, there's what else is there? Yoni eggs, sex toys, bedroom candy, and bedroom Kimmy. Like what else is there? We already know if any of us are too, tight with you, we can call Portia. And by Portia, we mean Kiowa. Jalen's grown. Monster's damn near grown. Your support dog and one missing. I don't know what else is there for you besides for you to, be a bone carrier and manipulate scenes and try to get other Scots on the show and do Mel a certain kind of way and be underhanded with Mel. Letitia, however, still has something to offer based on her story development, based on if the cheating ever does become exposed in something public, there's still something there. Now, that can be completely avoided, but it does exist. And I can't take that from her in as much as Letitia gets on my nerves. There's potentially a ton of power waiting for her if she gets there. But with Kimmy, all you do is hide. You hide, you protect Letitia, and then you hide some more. Go hide with Destiny. Go sit with her where she's sitting. Since you guys don't really want to talk to the camera, you don't really want to open up, you don't really, I mean, you don't really offer anything. Now, Marcel and Letitia are also guarded in that way, but like I said, the bottom can fall out with Letitia, and if she hits rock bottom, she could actually potentially go through a phoenix burning situation where she rises from the ashes, and people would like to see that. Uppity, and I'm out of here.